Good evening, sir. Good evening. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Good evening, all of you. Let's start with the topic. Just give me a moment. I'll just share the screen. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, the screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. The topic for today's discussion is, you know, group discussion. Group discussion is basically the practice that we keep going on in our institute, universities where we are working, because since we understand the group discussion is, it is the requirement for every genre, rather I can say, and every area where we proceed for the selection process, whether it is for the university students or whether it is for the university placements for the corporates, right? So this is one of the important evaluation techniques for the great candidates who have the skills and challenge, to evaluate themselves in out of the the mass of the audience that we have it. And when we have to make a selection, so this is one of the evaluation technique that we have to utilize as a part of group discussion, right? So that's why the topic for the today's discussion is innovative teaching and learning pedagogy out of the group discussion, right? So there are lots of benefits, group discussions that has been conducted, and there are a lot many reasons also for which the group discussion practices has been consistently going on. So with that note, let me start with my presentation. uh, yeah. So So this is a flow of presentation that throughout the presentation we will go through it. So firstly, we will see what is the definition of group discussion, right? Then once we understand the meaning of group discussion in an appropriate manner, we'll start try to understand the salient features which we have to consider as a part of the group discussion, right? So there are lot many features are there which we have to take into consideration when we are going on to the authentic way, and when we are going on the professional way of conducting a group discussion. So when we understand the meaning of group discussion, so basically there is only the one layman meanings that people are knowing, that it is a discussion or it is a brainstorming activity which is going on among more than one or two people, right? So but apart from this, the layman functions, apart from the layman meanings, there are a lot many other things that we need to take into consideration when we are going on a group discussion, and that's how it is considered to be a salient features of group discussion. Third part that we have to understand is why group discussion is an important criteria for the selection process. Why management institute, why B schools, why even when we are going for the technical educations, a school of technology, school of sciences, school of arts, right? Still, why all such fields are, whether belongs to the technicality aspect or whether they are belonging to the arts faculty, but why these people are giving more incense, more importance to the group discussion as a part of the selection process, right? Because there are a lot many things that group discussion is helping companies, universities, to make understand the quality of the candidate that they actually possess. What are the important features that companies are looking for among the candidates, right? So all such things will be helped by the group discussion, and that's why the group discussion is to be considered one of the important selection process out of all the processes that we have it. And that's why it is applicable to all the sciences, whether you are from social science, whether you are from medical science, whether we are from physical science. It is applicable to all the sciences because it is one of the important features to identify the quality candidates out of the mass of the audience that have been applied for the selection process. That's why the group discussion is considered to be one of the important part. Then we will go for further by understanding the process of group discussion, how the group discussion should be processed, what are the various steps that has to be followed when we talks about the group discussion. So it is a step by step process. It not like that the few peoples will assemble together, and they start discussing on any of the topic that they feel. But the group discussion is hierarchical process. Step by step, each of the process needs to be completed, and through which there are various parameters which we have to identify as a part of the selection process, right? So there is a process of group discussion that we have to see. Then by considering this group discussion, what are the prerequisites before starting group discussion that the organizer has to take into consideration, right? So this is part of the prerequisite, right? So what are the important things that organizer has to look forward before starting the group discussion? And all such arrangement should be properly arranged to have uninterrupted group discussion practices in the process, right? So this is very important that it should not be hampered, it should not be disturbed the process in between. And that's why it is very important to meet out the prerequisites or pre-requirement before starting the group discussion. So that is why it is considered to be prerequisites. Clear? Okay, fine. Then benefits. Why the group discussion is important in terms of the selection process, whether it is for the college student admission process or whether it is for the company selection process for the candidate, irrespective of whatever profile that they are looking for. It starts from the lower level and up till the management level. At everywhere, the group discussion process is playing a significant role to find out the most prominent candidate out of all the candidates that we have it, right? So not only this benefit of group discussion, but group discussion will also help the companies and universities to identify the potential candidates that they are looking for in specific genre and area based on the skills, qualities that needs to be possessed by that particular candidate, right? So it helps to evaluate, it helps to identify the right candidate at the right time for the right profile for the company. And that's why it is one of the unavoidable process that every company needs to follow. That's why it is called the benefits of group discussion. So these are the benefits. Reasons I have already communicated, because when we talks about if I'm for professor of management field, so management is all about to convince the people, to manage the people, and to organize the people. In all the sense, in all the process, it is very important that person should have the convincing power. And with that, if the person is having a convincing power, then only the subordinates will listen to them and follow their guidelines, orders, which has been passed on, which has been disseminated. If the person cannot make an impact on the people will not listen to him or her, and ultimately, the organization will feel stuck up. And that's why group discussion will also help to identify the right kind of people who have the managerial skills and talents apart from the technicality of the knowledge that the person is having, right? So that's why the reasons is many, but this is one of the important reasons which I have communicated, and through which the group discussion is also happening in the academic institute as well. So that's why the group discussion is very important parameter in all the academic institute, irrespective of the field in which they are. And do's and don'ts. So when the group discussion process will start, what are the things that participants need to taken care, and what are the things that participants need to avoid? That is a part of do's and don'ts in group discussion, right? So what things that they need to follow and what things that the participants needs to avoid during the process of group discussion. So this is what we have to see that, and everybody has to follow all the rules and guidelines to have the uninterrupted discussion among the process, right? So do's and don'ts very important for all the participants, not only for the participants, but the do's and don'ts are also important for the organizers of the group discussion. Then various kinds of methods for which group discussion has to be conducted. So that is why the important method for the group discussion that we have to discuss. And lastly, we will conclude what we have already discussed, what we ultimately get it, and how we can implement the group discussion for the rest of the part. Okay. So group discussion is one of the communication and interactive process where a group of individuals, usually ranging from 5 to 15 members, right? So the basic meanings of group discussion starts with it's a communication process. So whenever we are conducting a group discussion, that is the purpose of conducting a group discussion. And out of all the purposes, one of the important purpose that we all get it out of the group discussion is we can evaluate the communication skills of the candidate, because people has to communicate with each other. So not only we are checking the communication skills of the people, but at the same time, when the group discussion is happening among the multiple people, on the same topic, right, to share their views, to share their opinions. So there is a lot of brainstorming which is happening during this process, because when the group discussion start, majorly there are two parts of the people. One is for the topic and one group is against the topic, right? So that is the heat of the moment where each of the group will share and will provide their support and against opinion for the topic which we have conducted for the group discussion, right? So it is an interactive process. Sit together and have the lot of brainstorming on the topic which has been provided as a part of discussion. And if the size of the group discussion, so it's from 5 to 15 members who can share a specific topic or issue, either by their own choice or either by the topic which has been provided by the particular university, institute, or the corporates where they are applying for their selection process as a student or as a candidate or as an employee, right? So now the size is 5 to 15. The gap is very large. The reason for is the number of candidates will depend upon the purpose of the group discussion, why it has been conducted. So it depends upon the purpose for which any specific or particular organization is conducting the group discussion. So now the question is, how can we decide that which organization will having which purpose, and with that consideration of the purpose, how much members should be there as a part of group discussion? So let me take you one example. If I'm a corporate, if I'm looking for the candidate for the profitability aspect, if I'm looking for the candidate who is more efficient in terms of the knowledge, technicalities, and at the same time in the communication skills. So obviously I will not allow the multiple people together at the same time in a group discussion, like a group discussion group size of 10, because at a moment I cannot focus on 10 candidates. So what happens, rather, when the selection process is for corporate or for the employment purpose, the company needs to focus very micro level skills and qualities that individual possess, right? So obviously they have to pick up the small group size, right? Because through which they can focus on each and every parameters of the individual they're looking for the particular file or hierarchical level. But at the same time, if this group discussion practice is given to the students in the universities and colleges, part of assignments or some kind of co-curricular
Uh,
curricular activities, right,
Excuse me,
for the
sir.
enjoyment.
There is a voice breakage.
Hello. Hello. Yeah, is this clear?
Yes, sir. Now it's clear.
Okay, fine. It's clear now. Fine, completely.
Yes,
Any
sir.
disturbance? Okay. Yeah. So, what is the purpose that the group size is completely depends upon the number of participants, and the participants are belonging to which group, right? So this is what it's completely depends upon. Fine. Okay. So the primary purpose of the group discussion is to exchange ideas, share opinions, and collectively explore various aspects of the given subject. Right. So when any institute, any university, any organization wants to conduct a group discussion, so either the group discussion is only the part of the selection process of the candidate, or sometimes the group discussion might be conducted for the existing students or for the existing employees also, to give or to take their opinions on particular aspect or purpose, to make a strategy, to change the pedagogy of working, and to to make this practice into daily routine. The organizations are keep doing these practices so that they can understand the opinion of the employees at the same time, and they will also identify what are the loopholes in the existing strategy, existing policies that they are following in the organization, what are the changes which is required, and that changes will be asked by the management of the organization from the employees through the group discussion process. Right. So group discussion process is not only for the selection process, but it is for many purpose through which organization wants to grow and to highlight, to appoint, or to promote the quality and right kind of people at the right place at the right position. Right. So this is what the importance of the group discussion. And that's why group discussions are commonly used in various settings such as academics institutes, recruitment process, and professional programs across the globe. Right. So when we talks about group discussion, so this practices is commonly followed in all such areas, with the consideration of academic institutions, recruitment process for the corporates, professional development programs for the corporates, those who are existing employees, and if organization wants to promote them at the higher position, or organization wants to have the quality and skill enhancement among their employees. Right. So this kind of things will be required as a part of group discussion. Then it is considered to be the techniques and art to judge the capability of the students or to the employees. Right. So whosoever students that you are looking for, either students coming for the first time to take an admission, or might be the employees coming for the recruitment and selection process. Right. Or it might be when you are promoting to the employees, so you might take some interviews, you are making employees to undergo with various selection tests. Right. And out of that consideration, right, this is one of the important aspect that we all have to take into consideration. Clear? Okay. Then okay, fine. So this is the definition, and then it is salient features of group discussion. So what are the salient features of group discussion? So first is the topic and theme. So whenever any organization, any corporates wants to conduct a group discussion, kindly ensure that your topic should be very clear well in advance, because you have to communicate the topic to the participants. So the topic either could be from the current affairs issues, social concerns, business scenario, or other relevant topic. But still I'm saying that this topic is not only restricted up to the matters which I have mentioned in the slides, because every organization, every institute has different purpose and different fields and areas or genres under which they are making this process as a part of selection. Right. So depending upon the nature of the field and the requirements of the field, the topic and theme for the group discussion might vary. Right. This is just a basic examples that is applicable to each and every stream. But if the organization or institutions are going for the group discussion process to check the technicalities of the students or candidates, then with the requirement of that, the organizations can make a significant changes in the topics and themes for the group discussion. Right. So this is what we need to understand. Then the second point is enter the group discussion of salient feature, that is the requirement of the moderators and facilitators. Very, very important and very, very crucial process that every moderator and facilitators has to play their role very effectively, because if the moderators or facilitators is failed to guide the candidates in a right manner, the entire purpose, the entire objective of conducting a group discussion can be deviated, or it might happens that the moderators or facilitators are not enough sufficient or not capable enough to control the activities of the group, and the group's activities are going out of the range, or beyond the objective of the themes that has been decided by the moderator or facilitators, then the flow of group discussion is completely deviated, and ultimately the entire discussion is going in a very weird manner, and the purpose of conducting group discussion is not served out, and the quality, the important things that we are looking under the candidates is not coming out, and the objective of conducting a group discussion is completely getting failed. That's why you have to appoint moderators or facilitators, those who are experienced, those who have already gone through this process for multiple times, and those who have the experience to control the activities of the people, even before starting of group discussion, during the group discussion, and before the end of the group discussion, right? So this is very important, that moderators or facilitators should be there while conducting a group discussion. Time limit, well in advance we need to communicate to the participants, so that participants can make a strategy, can make important bullet points, that for the topic that they have to represent in front of the moderators or facilitators, or in front of the evaluation panel, right? So it is very important, and we also have to communicate the total time frame that has been allowed to the groups to provide their opinion, or their against role for the particular topic through which we are making a discussion, right? So, and they need to stick to the time limit, right? They should not go beyond the time limit, and see, beyond the time limit. So time limit in group discussion is very important. You need to understand the time limit, and with that time consideration, every participants try to finish up their opinion on the particular topic, right? So there might be some guidelines that, let's say, if the total is 20 minutes time period, so every participant is allowed individually to share their opinion for 2 minutes, then 10 minutes is for open discussion, right? Something like that. But this rules and regulations that facilitators or moderator has to communicate well in advance to all the participants, so that they will understand and they will try to obey the guidelines, and through which the group discussion activity should be in a flow which is required. Evaluation, that is the next point, right? So there are many criterias based on which the facilitator, moderators, or the evaluation panel can judge the participants. And few of the criteria which I have mentioned on the screen, that either you can judge the peoples through the communication skills that they have it. If we are talking in front of the technical point of view, then analytical thinkings on the particular topics that candidate has to represent as a part of the topic requirement. So how technically they are sound, that will be reflected out of their opinion which has been shared among the people. So that is called analytical thinking power. Problem solving abilities, right? So not on companies are not only looking for the problems that candidate arised at the time of group discussion, but yes, companies are also looking for their understanding power, cooperation, and that can be reflected out of their problem solving abilities and opinion which has been shared during the group discussion process, right? So problem solving abilities is also going to be checked. Then leadership qualities, very very important, right? Leadership qualities in group discussion means, when the group discussion starts, are you taking the groups on a leading front? Which candidate is having this capability? How efficiently they are leading this front? How effectively they are putting the points among the groups for the group discussion, right? And during the group discussion, if you are representing to some of the people as a group, then how you are cooperating with each other, how you are respecting to each other, you are being monitored in every sense, in every aspect. It is not only like that. When the group discussion is going on, you are trying to speak, and you are trying to communicate what you want to say. So the group discussion does not mean to only speak, and speak, but you have been evaluated on so many parameters by the evaluation panel with the consideration of the requirement of the organization. And the requirement of the organization is completely based on the nature of organization in which you are applying as a part of selection process, or even if you are applying for the academic institute as a part of admission. So you need to understand the requirement of the nature of the particular stream in which the students are seeking the admissions, and according to the nature you have to develop, you have to represent your nature and skills in front of the educational institute, so that they will might have you, they might make you as their selection process choice, right? So this is what it's called salient feature. Code of conduct, yes, very very important. Without rules and regulations, you can't ride your bikes even at the traffic signals, right? So if the traffic signals has been followed by the each and every riders in the city, then only you can prevent the accident on the roads, right? So that's what is applicable to the group discussion. If the candidates, if the people are not following the code of conduct and rules and regulations, the group discussion is completely going waste of time. And at the same time, if everybody's are completely adhering to the code of conduct which has been prescribed by the facilitators and moderators, so the meaningful, or you can say the fruitful outcomes out of the discussions will come. That's why the code of conduct is very very important. And with that consideration, if one person is speaking at a time, others have to listen very carefully and try to avoid interruptions in between, when the one person is completely allocated the time to represent or to provide the opinion on the specific topics, right? And that respecting diverse opinions. And at the same time, if somebody is opposing your opinions in a correct manner, you should have a guts to accept those opinion with full of respect and zest, right? No personal grudges, nothing is that. Once the group discussion is over, you should behave normally in front of the people. That's all are the part of the group discussion. Then another part under the group discussion is, right, is that active participants. Active participation means each and every students, each and every participants who are the part of the group discussion needs to ensure that they should completely focused, they should completely engage themselves in the process of sharing their views, thoughts with the relevant examples, right? So each and every person's participation is very very important, because until and unless if the person does not speaks, it is very important to make a judgment or to make a selection on that particular person, right? So that is very important that every person should speak out, every person should share their views, opinion, thoughts. Then only the person or the moderators or the evaluation panel can make a choice, right? And that's why the active participation should be ensured, and moderator needs to ensure that each and every person should at least get a time to speak out on the particular topics, right? So this is called active participation. Decision making. So obviously decision making is the ultimate goal of group discussion, that we need to seek out
Sir,
the
excuse
right
me.
kind of. Hello.
Excuse me, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
How to allocate the groups? What is your suggestion based on the roll number or
we'll,
based on
we'll,
the sitting
we'll take
order?
we'll take suggestions, sir, after the session. We'll have 10 minutes time to have a discussion. Is it okay?
Yes.
You keep your questions after the session. We will take it one by one, surely.
Okay.
Right? Okay, thank you.
Right.
So decision making is, we have to make a decisions collectively, right, with the consideration of all the parameters that we have it, right? So the ability to work towards a common understanding or resolution is often a key aspect of group discussion, right? Okay. Then we are reaching to why group discussion is an important criteria for the selection process. So the first is it provides a wide understanding on the topic. So if at all, if any person has been assigned a specific topic or subject for the discussion, the person will share his thoughts, opinion on a wide range of discussion with relevant example, technicalities, and all such aspect. Then second is it tries to solve the problem. So if at all it is for the company, it is for the organization. So if organization is facing some issues in the market, and if organization wants to take the opinion of from the employees or the people from the outsiders, what they can do is they can call the experts from the market, take the advice with their sharing the thoughts one by one, and have a brainstorming among each other. And out of this brainstorming, the person will approve the best practices for the companies that needs to be undertaken, right? So it is a problem solving. Then third aspect is it increases the ability of critical thinking power. So if at all even the person is a fresh in the market, who is not aware about the topic which has been assigned, and if he or she being a part of this process of group discussion, so I must ensure and I must say that at the end of this process the person at least have developed some critical thinking power, some critical ability in their minds, and might be the person is aware after end of the group discussion, right, which was not there before the group discussion, right? So many things, many important things which has been came out as a part of the knowledge gaining process out of the group discussion process, right? So again, the group discussion process is one of the important aspect for the knowledge sharing among each other. Then help students to understand the process about the specific topic, right? So even if students is not learning any technicalities out of this particular process, then at least student is understanding that how to work in the group, how systematically we can work out with the follow of rules and regulations that we need to abide, right? So it helps to understand the specific process, specific topic through the specific process, right? So it's a processual practice that we all have to adopt. Then it improves the listening and communication skills among the students. Obviously, it has been said in management that if you are not a good speaker, at least try to become a good listener, so you will learn half of the topic by just having a good listening skills, right? So not only speaking during the group discussion does matters, but sometimes the participants will also learn where to make a pause, where to make listening power, where to listen the people and how to respect the opinion of the people, even if it is better than your opinion, right? So the understanding power, listening power, communication skills, all things should be improved if the students being a part of the group discussion process, right? So then after, it boosts the moral and confidence for public speaking activities, right? So many of the students are not outspoken, right? They are a very introvert kind of people. So if they are not comfortable alone to make a public speech on the stage, let them first invite among the group of people and allow them, or provide them the stage to share their opinion, to speak something out of it, and through which they can throw out uh, the the fear that they have it to speak in front of people, right? So the group discussion should also boost the self confidence among the students while they have to make a speech and while they have to share their opinions in the market. It also helps to change the overall perspective of the students, that is the attitudes, right? Attitude in terms of that students needs to understand that if they want to sustain, if they want to grow, they have to speak, right? They have to share their thoughts among the people, they have to work with people, they have to respect the opinion of the people, and sometimes they also have to accept their mistakes out of the process, right? So this is why called building the ultimate attitude, the ultimate personality among the students. And this can be possible with the group discussion process. Okay, this is hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Somebody please, yeah. Why I'm asking, because there is a lot of flood situation is outside. The 5 feet, 6 feet water outside my home, and that's why I have make a switch off my camera, because since morning the electricity is not there. But since I'll try my level best to, so I hope these things are okay. No problem at all.
No problem, sir. Everything is okay.
Yeah, yeah, okay. So, what is the process of group discussion? Right. So now we understand the process of group discussion. So group discussion basically starts with announcement of the topic, right? So when the people are came together to share their opinion and thoughts, moderator or facilitators needs to decide the common topic, or and the topic will be depends upon the nature of the organization, the field of the organization in which they are working, right? So this is what the announcement of the topic. Once the announcement of the topic has been done, at least we need to allow 2 minutes or 3 minutes time to each and every participants to jot down the important bullet points, right, that they will come into your mind, right, so that when the group discussion will start, they would recall all such points and they would be in a better positions to represent all such topics, all such points during the group discussion whenever their turns will come out. So preparation time is very must. It should not be more than 2 or 3 minutes, right? And then once the discussion has been started, so before discussion starts, it is a responsibility of the moderators to allocate the individual time period for which they are allowed to speak. And once the buzzer will on, they have to stop their speaking, and the next participants will be allotted the time. And once the individual time speaking will be over, there would be some time allotment for the open forum group discussion. And when the open forum group discussion will start, that is called discussion among participants. And once this discussion will be start, the real job of moderators and facilitators will come over here, where the people are going out of the control. They have to control the momentum of the group discussion when the people are discussing on the various topics. Very, very important that you should control the momentum of the participants. Make sure that people will not disrespect to each other. The people should not come out with negligence of the topic. They should stick to the topic. They should not deviate from the theme of the discussion, right? So there are a lot many things that we have to control being a moderator when the discussion among the participants are going on. And once the fruitful discussion among the participants are getting over, we have to discuss, we have to provide the results out of the discussions to the participants, right? So results is very important, right? Because it boosts the morale of the person who has done the practice, who has done the job rightly, correctly, right? So it will boost their motivations to do these practices more and more time. And we know that when the person is more attracted toward the group discussion, that means the person is going to be streamlined in the process of removing the fear of public speaking, and they are in the process of developing the self-confidence and representing in front of the society about the technical knowledge they possess, and they would be able to deliver, they would be able to make understand others in a more efficient manner. And that is what the organization is looking for, that is the convincing power among the students and candidates. Okay, what is the prerequisites of group discussion? So as we have already discussed, that clearly defined topic that we all have to require. Then selection of participants. So selection of participant means, let's say if the organization is making selection process in technical fields, so there would be some criteria that which people can apply for this particular selection process, right? So there would be some selection criterias, or and after, even after application, there might be some entrance exams, right? And if the person is clearing those exams, then they would be transferred to group discussion process, right? Because depending upon the requirement, quality requirement, every organization has the selection process and they will stick to that particular process. Then moderator or facilitators, very important. If these people are not there, then group discussion is not at all possible, right? So controlling parameter is always required during the group discussion. Rules and regulations. So obviously During the group discussion process, everyone has to stick to the rules and regulations. They have to stick to the time frame, time guidelines that has been provided to them during the group discussion process. So rules and regulations are must to stick to it and follow. Predefined format. So format of the group discussion should be communicated well in advance, and we have to force to the participants that they should stick to the format of the group discussion. They should not deviate from the format of group discussion. And when the group discussion is going on, the preparation time for the candidate is also provided. And preparation time, as I told you, that it is for 2 to 3 minutes, and then the discussion will start. Respect towards the diverse opinion, obviously, as we have discussed, you should not, being a participants of the group discussion, the person should not lose their temper, when the opinion comes diverse from your opinion. If at all, if you feel that this opinion is more technical in terms of the opinion that you have provided, you should respect that opinion also, right? So this is also the, acceptance good things in the life is also the one of the important aspect, right? So we have to follow this. Active participation, you should not put yourself on a passive mode. The participants needs to keep, speak as in when your turns will come out, and when the discussion is making open, right? So you have to be active in terms of providing your opinion with a valid and concluding points. Evaluation criteria. So before starting group discussion, it's always important, and if it completely depends upon the selection panel whether they wants to share the evaluation criteria with the participants or not, right? So if at all it has been shared, it will be important that participants should focus on this. Again, it is based on the nature of organization where you are going for these practices. So evaluation criteria should also be decided by the moderator or evaluation panel before well in advance. The group discussion will start. Time management, yes, so time should be communicated as we have discussed. Feedback mechanism, so this thing should be asked from the to the participants after the group discussion, how they feel it, how was the entire process. And we should also ask the area of improvement from the participants only, that where they feel their problems, how is it possible for us to sort it out, how we can make this process more convenient and more appropriate, right? And these things should be come out from the feedback mechanism. Then comfortable settings, right? So comfortable setting means everyone should be allotted with proper facilities, internet facilities as required, laptop, parking arrangement, good clean room, right? So these are the comfortable settings that we can consider. So we need to provide these facilities to the people, those who are part of the group discussion. Benefits, enhance learning, obviously. People sitting together to discuss on a specific topic, it enhance their learning, their knowledge, manner, because you will come to know diverse opinion from the people. So whenever you are going at the another place for the future reference, obviously you have more content than what you have it today. So obviously the group discussion enhance the learning of candidates. It makes candidates to think on rational grounds, right? So it enhances their critical thinking power as well. Communication skills, obviously, once you are a part of group discussion, you are facing the peoples on multiple parameters, the arguments, support parameters. Obviously, you are enhancing your communication skills. You to know what mistakes you are making during the process, and you to
Uh, Excuse me, sir, you're not audible.
Am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
sir.
So where I lost my connection, please let me know. On which slide we are? Uh,
So prerequisites.
Prerequisites.
Yes.
Oh, prerequisites we lost. Okay, okay. So fine. So prerequisites, that means this is the comfortable settings and all this we have to provide to the participants, right? Then after, benefits. So benefits is enhanced learning, right? So participants can increase their learning. They can develop critical thinking power, with having facts and figures, with a for and against argument. Communication
Excuse me,
skills.
sir.
Hello.
Sir,
Yes.
PPT is not
Sir, your
visible.
slides. Yes, sir. Your slides are not visible.
Okay,
Can you
okay.
share the slides?
Sorry for today because there is a lot of chaos over here. There is a flood situation in our town today. So the network issues
No
are also
issues, sir.
going on.
No issues,
Sorry,
sir. We can
extremely sorry
understand.
for today. Right. So you can watch the news on this, Baroda city, the completely flooded. Uh, okay. Fine. So benefits is enhanced learning, critical thinking, communication skills, right? We can develop the communication skills among us. Then during the group discussion, we'll also come out with the various perspective exposures, right? That we have to come out. Collaboration and teamwork, right? So sometimes here we need to understand that participants will understand that individual opinion does not matters, right? It is a group efforts and through which the work is going on. So collaboration, teamwork is also be the part of this particular learning. Problem solving is another aspect. Decision making, right? Confidence building. So if participants is nothing getting out of the group discussion, but if the participants being completely the part of the discussion, then at least they will build a confidence how to make your opinion in front of the people, right? So confidence building. Time management, how to make your opinion, how to make your points in a limited time period. So participants can also learn how to manage a time. Conflict resolution skills. So if another people is making arguments against your opinion, and even if you have the arguments on his arguments also, then you will also learn how to make your arguments politely and effectively in front of people. So this is called conflict resolution skills. Knowledge sharing, you have to share your knowledge, right? Whatsoever you are knowing about the topic, you will try to communicate in front of the people, right? So this is called knowledge sharing. Then after, network opportunities. So even if whatever, whether in this discussion you have won or lose, but at least you built your network by meeting different kinds of people from different areas, right? So this is called developing your networks in the society. And you'll also try to learn the cultural sensitivity by meeting different kinds of people and how to respect the cultures of each of the person. So this is called cultural sensitivity. Reasons. So first is to evaluate the communication skills. Then second aspect is how to observe interpersonal skills, how the person is interacting with each other, how he or she is respecting to the other's opinion, how his behavior should be, right? So this is called evaluation of interpersonal skills. Then evaluating leadership potential among the students. You'll also come to know which students are making the leadership opportunities, who is making the discussion to be on the leading front, right? So you'll also came to know who has the leadership qualities among the group. So you'll also try to fetch out the good leaders for the corporate for the future reference. Then teaching them the importance of teamwork and collaborative efforts, right? So group discussion also thoughts that when you work in a team, when you work in a corporates, put your individual opinion aside and try to be in a team and collaboratively, right? So this is called importance of teamwork and collaborative efforts. Problem solving and analytical thinking power, right? So you'll try to solve the problem if at all any arguments is coming in front of your opinion. You'll also try to define those arguments with critical thinking power, means with the analytical arguments with facts and figures, right? So this is on another aspect that we are learning, making them understand diversity and inclusion. So cultural diversity, we are learning how to respect these people. and how to behave with the people, different kinds of people, so that we are learning. Time management, with the limitation of time, how we can make it, and teaching them stress management techniques and adaptive nature. If at all you have been taken by the people on a opposite side, so how to make yourself comfortable in this stressful situation, that is also to be taught by the group discussion, right? So that's why it is innovative teaching learning pattern. Making aware about diverse culture, efficient in generating information. So obviously group discussion will help you to generate and gather more information for the future reference as a part of your knowledge. And emotional intelligence of the students, how to keep yourself cool and calm in each of the situation, will be taught by the group discussion. Do's and don'ts. So having a proper eye contact is must. When you speak, your eyes should be in front of the people. It should not be pulled down. You should initiate the group discussion as a part of leadership skill. Allow others to speak. Once your turn is over, you should keep pause and let others to speak. Whatever you speak, it should be clearly and confidentially. That should be convinced to the people what you are sharing, right? And whatever discussion points you are making, to the point with the consideration of time frame. During the entire group discussion, the posture, gestures of the students or candidate should always remain positive, irrespective of whether people is supporting or arguing your opinion. Listen to others very carefully. As we have discussed, you have to be very good listener first, and modulate the volume, pitch, and tone. Whenever the discussion is going on, your volume should not be too high and too low. It should not be offensive in front of others, but it should be to the point and with the consideration of the environment. And what you have to avoid is, you should not be shy, nervous, and isolated. Otherwise you are out of the selection process, right? You have to be in the group discussion, right? At least you have to try to speak. Keep your nervousness aside and try to speak out by breaking all the barriers of the nervousness, right? Interrupting others in between their opinion is not at all good sign of the group discussion, because it shows the offensiveness that you are not respecting to the other's opinion. So this practice should always avoid. Not to be much aggressive. If at all your opinion is not to be considered by the society, be cool and calm and try to put your points with a valid justification. Changing opinion in between. So let's say if the group discussion was going on and you were on the supporting point, and now immediately, with the consideration of flow of presentation or flow of the people, if you are changing opinion in between, that shows you are not confident what you are trying to speak, right? So you should not be change your opinion in between. So keep your opinion throughout the group discussion on one valid point, either for or against, but you should not deviate from yourself from for to against, right? That shows that you are not confident, you are not having critical thinking power. And don't make a funs of counterparty. Very, very important. As a part of code of conduct, you should not make a fun of others. Okay. So methods is, one is topic based. You should give the topic and let the peoples to discuss. Case study based. If you take any case study of any companies or corporate for any strategy, and have the discussion on this strategy, that is a case study discussion. Debate means you have two groups, one is for and one is against, and one topic should be allotted to groups, and the groups are having supporting and against argument one by one, and the discussion will come on. Role play means the entire scenario will be portrayed among the participants, and participant has to enter into the role of each of the person, and they have to feel naturally how the person in this particular role are feeling when they are performing this kind of roles, right? So this is called role play. Brainstorming session. So you give the ideas and solutions related to a given problems or topic, and this method fosters creativity and encourage free thinking power. Fishbowl discussion. A small group of participants will be the part of group discussion, and the brainstorming activities will be going on. This is called fishbowl. And jigsaw is also the sub part of the fishbowl discussion, where the small group of participants, let's say 3 to 4 people or 5 people, will have the discussion when, and this kind of selection process as a part of group discussion will happen when the organizations are focusing on the higher management selection, where they want to focus on few peoples but on micro level parameters for the selection process. So jigsaw is one of the important group discussion techniques through which the organization can make the selection process. Scenario analysis. Let's make participants to hypothetically scenario, make them create a hypothetical scenario and ask for their opinion one by one. So this is called scenario analysis. Interview panel discussion. So the panel of people will sit together and the candidates will be called one by one, and the panel will have the discussion with the candidates and they will make a selection process. Problem centric discussion means they are just here to discuss on the specific problem, right? So basically this kind of group discussion techniques will happen with the existing employees of the companies, where they wants to ask the opinion of the employees on the specific problems and what sort of solution that employees of the organization are looking for, if the organizations are employee centric, right? So this is problem centric discussion can be happen. And panel discussion means if organization wants to adopt certain projects, wants to take certain decisions for the future reference in terms of high investment or any sort of important decisions which is important for the organization and employees. So the panel should be sit together and have a discussion on the particular topic, and they will finally reach to the conclusion, right? And mainly this is happening in conferences and seminars where the theme of the conference will be decided, and based on that one, first the discussion will go on and finally the concluded remark will be given by one person, right? So this is called panel discussion. And conclusion is, the group discussion helps participants to evaluate their abilities. It helps to evaluate the traits of the participants in terms of initiator, problem solvers, interactiveness, and leadership skills. And it is important techniques for evaluating candidates in academic as well as the corporates with the as a part of innovative teaching learning pedagogy. So with that consideration, I'm stopping my presentation and I'm making the stage open for the question answer. So those who have the questions, please ask. Yeah, so you can see this, there is no electricity at the place. uh, but anyways, yeah, please, any questions?
Sir, can you please explain the last point of do's? There was one point, not allowing others to speak. Whether it is do or don'ts, I was a little bit confused.
Yeah, it was a don't. That's why I avoid.
Okay, it was a don't. Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was a don't. Any other questions? Any other questions that participants wants to share?
I asked you before, sir.
Yeah,
What
please.
is the criteria of splitting the group? Can I do this group discussion in my classroom, BTech first years? So what is the criteria based on the roll number or based on the sitting order? Sitting order means they are very close friends, so that they will be sitting together. Group discussion game may be going in a wrong way too. What is your suggestion as an expert in this?
See, sir, being a part of the moderator or evaluating panel, first of all, your selection will be based on the time frame that you have it, right? The number of sessions that you can allocate to the number of students, right? So let's say if you have 3 sessions with the 60 students, so you have 20 students for each of the sessions, right? So if one group discussion can last up to 25 to 30 minutes, right? So then your group size should be framed 10 people in a group for one group discussion, so that you can consist 6 group discussion in 3 lectures. So firstly, your time is time and number of people or candidate that you have it. For corporate, it is not matters, but when education institute is there, the time frame is also matters, because we have many other parameters to be completed on time, right? So time frame is must with number of candidates that you have it. So just divide the number of candidates with the number of sessions that you have it, and with the consideration of number of time of the session, you divide your groups, right? So if the candidate was 90, then your group was 15. If the candidate is 60, then your group size was 10. With the consideration of per group discussion, the time frame is restricted up to 25 minutes to 30 minutes. Is it clear?
I think you wrongly understood, sir. I am
Yeah,
asking
please.
how to allocate the students based on the roll number, based on their sitting order. That I am asking.
Sir, that answer is lies in these answers. Let's say if you have 15 students, right? So 15 students and your discussion based on the nature of group discussion you wants to conduct. Do you want to conduct your group discussion among the smart students? You want to conduct a group discussion among the people who are shy, right? Either you can make a serial number and you can make it, right? Or if you want the group on a similar panel, or you want to balance your group, so you should have the evaluation criteria that based on the CGPA that you can cover up. There is no argument of that ke bhai, whether I should go for enrollment number or serial number. It completely depends upon the moderators and evaluating panels that they wants to allocate the groups, right? Even if you want to go for CGPA wise, then you can go for CGPA wise, right? So if you want to pick out only 3 students out of the class that who is good, so that we can send them to the IIM Ahmedabad for the competition, so you make it out of the CGPA wise group discussion among the people, and you can pick it out the 3 or 4 people who is good in terms of speaking, critical thinking power, ability, having communication skills. So this is the evaluation pattern that we have to decide. So there is no stringent criteria that I should stick on this particular points only. I hope it is clear.
Okay, sir. Okay. Even in darkness, you are bringing light to us. Thank you.
Yeah, please. Any other questions? Yeah, Venugopal sir, Taruni, Professor Taruni Kati madam, right? Whatever. If you have any questions, please have raised your hands.
Sir, I would like
Okay.
to ask one small question as
Yeah,
to how
please.
this group discussion method can be effectively used in teaching this thing. I mean, what will be the correct way to use this technique or
See,
appropriate?
yeah. So see, sir, one thing is very clear. If the monotonous sessions will go on in the classrooms, like just like if I'm running the PPTs and I'm trying to convey the topic to the students, so many of the students will not find interesting, or they, the initial impression that they carry in their mind is like that the monotonous session will go on, the PPTs will go on, and the faculty will keep sharing their thoughts, whatever they're in the mind. But it's the same thing, mainly the HR topics or psychological topics, that student needs to understand the difficult terminologies which is there in the psychological parameter, right? So if this kind of topic should be taught the students by having the practical exposures or making them force to go into the market and try to learn, right? And let's say if they wants to learn with the opinion of each other on the particular topic, right? And if in HR or any psychological parameter, so if any person is having motivated, then what is the reaction? If any person is getting demotivated, then what is the reaction? So let's the students to learn on a practical manner. So what happens that the practical manners will improve their thinking and learning ability in a more concrete manner, and they will not only listen, but they will also try to inculcate, they will also try to understand, they will also try to digest those situations into their real life practical manner. So that the concept will not only restricted up to pen and paper, but it will be a real time learning for the students when they are going for this kind of group discussion practices.
Thank you very much, sir. But that means it will be useful as far as offline training session is concerned. In online mode, it won't be useful, right, sir?
Not much, because moderator role is most important, no? Agreed.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Okay, any other questions? There was one question. Sir, while student is speaking, suddenly if we press the buzzer, won't it be
Sir,
disappointing to students? Yeah, obviously, that's the role of moderator that we have to perform. We have to stop them in between, and we have to stop this activity like that. It would be a example for the other students if they are trying to attempt.
Sir, I am
Yeah, please.
Venugopal. I have a
Yes, sir.
question. Sir, what
Yes,
is the
please.
ideal number for a group discussion?
Sir,
What is
ideal
the
number of group discussion. Again, this is the qualitative matters, right? If
okay.
I'm conducting, as I told in my presentation also, if I'm conducting a group discussion for the students as
Yeah.
academical purpose for assignment submission and to just have the communication skills and to removing their fear for the public speaking, then my group size could
Okay.
remain 10 to 15. But as I told, if any corporates is looking for managerial position among the people, right? So at that point of time, this group size, if it is going to be higher side, then the focus should not be restricted for the particular individual for monitoring the micro level managerial skills and ability. So if we want to, it depends upon the sensitivity of the purpose of the group discussion, right? If you are looking for the managerial position where the critical thinking ability skills everything should be monitor very micro level, then the group size should be small so that we can check each and every candidates on a multiple parameters. But if it is only for the students purpose or for the academic purpose or for the just to have the lecture purpose, then group size can be vary, depends upon the organizers, with the consideration as sir has already told. Sir, how much lecture, how much students, and how much time should I allocate? So as I told, that as per the academic requirement, whatever time allotment has been there and with the number of students, you have to frame your strategy and you have to decide your group size.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, okay. Any other queries?
So my last question. So how do I
Please.
control, suppose there are 50 participants in a classroom and I form 5 different groups. So how do I control all the 5 different groups? How do I become moderator to all the 5 groups when they are discussing different topics? Whether they should be at staggered, discussion should be held at staggered time, or how do I do it, sir? Please, thank you.
Sir, see, you cannot have the 50 students controlling at one time, right? So when group discussion should always remain with the limited audience, right? And at that point of time, we should not allow 50 to 50 students to be participate in the group discussion. So at a one point of time, only 10 to 15 students will be participating in the group discussion, and others are learning from the process. And that is what the ultimate objective for all the academic institute, to conduct a group discussion and let others to learn from the process. And that's why I told this is a process of learning. So if others are being a part of the discussion, they will learn from being a part of the process, and others who are listening to them, they will learn from their experience out of the process. But 50 will not be the part of in any case.
Okay, so there are 5 groups, 50 participants. All of them will be having different topics, but one group will discuss at one time, and others will be witnessing that discussion. Right, sir?
Listening, yes.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Okay. And I hope so there was a lot of questions, active participants. Thank you so much. I have thoroughly enjoyed the session, even in the difficult time today. So thank you so much for being an active audience during the presentation, and I hope the session will be useful for the future reference. Thank you, Research Foundation of India, Ajay sir, Ajay Jain sir, and all the management of the Research Foundation of India for inviting today. Thank you so much. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Kunalji. Thank you very much. It was very
Thank you,
interesting
sir.
and very engaging session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. And thank you
Thank
for
you, sir. Thank you, sir.
enhancing the knowledge of others by having